Las mentiras.
By Leyshon and Buellosa, and some little fragments translated by Samantha Schnell.
This piece is a literary conversation. It began with an email from Carmen, which started me off. I sent an email back, and we finished it this afternoon. So we've been emailing each other back and forward. So it's a conversation which we've both enjoyed immensely.
Con la lengua palpamos el dolor, el amor y el silencio. Para tocarlos, el niño quiere el llanto, el beso y el abrazo, y con la lengua quiere el no, los límites, la verdad y cuentos, puros cuentos. With language, we touch pain, love, and silence. The child wants to be touched by tears, kisses, and embraces. And with language, he wants to hear boundaries, the truth, and straightforward lies.
I play my cards close to my chest. I play my cards so close to my chest that there is no air between my skin and the surface of the cards. I'd like to play them differently, at arm's length, or spread on the table between us, face up, highly visible. But it's not going to happen.
La primera frase completa que escribí en la escuela fue: mi mamá me mima, me da tamales. No era verdad. Mi mamá nunca me hizo tamales, ni me dio tamales. Nunca llamé mamá a mi mamá. Esa primera frase escrita escondía engaños y una verdad. Ella, que no me daba tamales, sí me quería. En lugar de mimarme, moriría a mis 15 años antes de cumplir 40. The first full sentence I ever wrote in school was: my mama cuddles me, she gives me tamales. It wasn't truth. My mother never once made me tamales, nor did I ever call her mother or mom. That first sentence covered up a lie as well as a truth. She didn't give me tamales, but she loved me. Instead of cuddling me, she died when I was 15 before she turned 40.
You told me it was the truth. You told me this was how it was. You told me. And I believed you, for every word you placed in my ear sank in like it meant something. Like every word was tied to its meaning. Like there was an umbilical cord between word and act, between word and object, between word and deed, as though language and truth were in an embrace, a double helix. This is how it was. The day I was born, you made the man crook his arms. You placed me in them, laid me in them. Daddy, you said, say hello to your daddy. And as I grew, you told me everything would be all right, that the sun would come up every dawn, that the moon would watch me sleep. You told me I would grow up to be happy and kind and beautiful, all because I was born on a Sunday. I called him Daddy, as though there was an umbilical cord between word and object. You told me to work hard. It'll pay off, you said. It'll pay dividends. You told me to eat well, to eat everything on my plate. You told me it was good for me. You told me all of this. And when I told a lie, when I said I hadn't taken your money from your purse, but then you found it in my room, you said, don't do that. Don't lie. You said, always tell the truth, then you can remember what you said. I grew older, taller. I grew into myself. When I was tall enough to look you in the eye, I started to ask questions. You told me not to worry. You told me I was thinking too much. you told me everything would be all right. And as I grew taller, the man, my daddy, grew grey. When you weren't there, when it was the two of us, he never spoke. He played music to avoid the silence which was wrapped tight around our bodies, a double helix. I watched him listen, eyes shut, as though by keeping the lids closed, he kept the music inside his head. I was a questioning child. I was a writing child. And then one day I wrote something for you, a letter. It said I thought you had lied, that this daddy was not my daddy, that our DNA, our own double helix, was different. I left the letter downstairs for you and I went out. When I came home, my heart was banging in my chest and his music was so loud the sound bled through the walls and filled the street. I opened the door and your eyes wouldn't meet mine. You walked out of rooms as I came in. You stood up when I sat down. You went upstairs when I was downstairs. The questions I asked were answered through evasion and denial and a cloud of nothing words. And the words and the deeds, the words and the people, the word daddy and the actual thing were cut away from each other. And I no longer knew what was truth and lies, what was a metaphor, what was real. There was a rupture, a divorce between word and object. There was a rupture, a divorce between word and deed, between word and act. There was a rupture, and the two parts of the double helix unravelled, unembraced, and fell away.
Tú me dijiste, frase de Nell, tú me dijiste. Yo escribí la frase aquella, mi mamá me mima, redondas M's pintando olas en la página. Para Nell la palabra habló, abracadabra, abracadabra, la magia, la mentira. Y yo creí, dice Nell, cada palabra que salía de tu boca, mi oído se hundió como cada palabra, abracadabra. Quisiera decir algo, dice Nell, como si cada palabra estuviera atada a su sentido, como si hubiera un cordel umbilical entre palabra y acto, como si el lenguaje y la verdad se estuvieran abrazando, una hélice doble. You told me, those are Nell's words, you told me, I wrote that sentence. My mama cuddles me, round dance painting waves on the page. For Nell, the words sounded like abracadabra, abracadabra, magic, a lie. And I believed every word from her mouth, my hearing drowning like each word, abracadabra, was saying to say something, like every word was tied to its meaning, like there was an umbilical cord between word and deed, like language and truth were embracing a double helix. Vivir con los cadáveres, mi pan de cada día, aspirar el aire de la memoria con el aliento espeso de la muerte. Quise un bocado que no fuera un tamal escrito, la curva dulce de la M envenenada con la muerte. No ser la hija, sino la madre, la abuela, recuperarme niña en los primeros pasos de otro. Living with cadavers, my daily breath. Breathing the air of memory with the thick breath of muerte. I wanted one bite that wasn't a written tamal. The sweet curve of the M poisoned with muerte. Not being the daughter, but the mother, the grandmother. Recovering my girlhood in the first steps of another. Muchas gracias.